I think that women on some level of a consciousness understand that by doing, like, showing their boyfriend, that they destroy the fantasy of availability. Women use that medium, use Instagram as a form of advertisement. So for when we were talking about before how men have to perform and women, men must become, women just are, right? Men have to have a burden of performance. They have to look like they're interesting. They have to have some kind of decent car. They have to look like, there has to be a whole resume of things that this guy has to sort of
have to be
qualify.
hot.
All you have to be is hot. And the other thing is that when those two people get together, the men are the pitchmen. The men are the ones who are trying to get you to date them. They're like, hey, please, you want to go out with, courting you, whatever it is. And so they've got to be the ones who are selling themselves. They are the pitchmen. Women only have to advertise. So when you get together and that woman is still advertising and you are no longer allowed to pitch anymore because that's called cheating. But we don't call it cheating when the woman is still advertising whether or not she is like working or she's not. There's, you know what a soft launch is, right? So a soft launch, why is that a thing? Why is we didn't even know what a soft launch was, like before Instagram, like not even like 10 years ago. We didn't know what a soft launch was.
I don't even know what that is now.
Soft launch is this.
You don't show your boyfriend, you just show his hand, or you just show that you're on a date with a guy.
Yeah.
You wish Kelly him or something.
And why is that? Have you done a soft launch? Do you know what a soft launch is?
I know what a soft launch is, yeah. Like I said, hard launching, I'm a believer in. People ruin good things.
I agree.
Someone will see that you're in a happy relationship and go on your page and be like, ooh, I'm going to follow her boyfriend just for the validation.
Exactly.
Okay.
Or
there is that, but let me ask you this. Would you lose followers? Would you lose market share if you showed your, well, maybe not you, but you show your boyfriend on Instagram? Do you lose sexual market capital as a result of showing off your thing?
Definitely, because they're going to be like, oh, she's taken, or the ones who stick around.
Whereas I almost think it's the opposite for men, because when men post a woman and you look just the same way you look at their life, like you may, I'm not saying like, there's some women that look and they just be like, oh, I want her man, like I want that, but then there's other women that are like, I want a man like that, or something like that, so they admire that or something. Like I forgot what my
I have women hit on my man in front of my face every time I take him out. Whether you do it online.
So here's the thing though, it's like, especially in the age of like OnlyFans, Instagram, everything else, we're talking about validation, okay? So why would a soft launch be a thing if women weren't the ones getting the most validation out of this? Because in doing so, by putting your boyfriend, even just showing hands.
Yeah, like an arm with a watch or something.
Suddenly you lose followers. Suddenly you lose likes. Suddenly, that post doesn't perform as well as when you're showing your ass off.
I think that video, one of my thoughts with the girl in the red dress saying she had 5 boyfriends, I think when you were saying she kind of like changed her demeanor. So I totally understand what you were saying, but I think that my opinion was whenever a woman is asked, oh, are you single? And then it's like, well, why are you single? It's almost like because of the way society was. So it's like, oh, well, I like having 5 boyfriends. Like you double down on it at this point.
That's what she did.
Yeah, that's what I think she did. So we agree on that.
I think she was single, and then he looked at her like, well, why do you think that is? And it made her internally look at herself, and then she was like, oh, wow, now it sounds like
now
I'm like a throwback.
Yeah, now I got to double down on what I said and make it sound like this is my type of party.
And then she got more aggressive on it and like more. And I think that was her.
Yeah, I think a soft launch is similar to that. I think a soft launch is like saying like, I've been chosen. I kind of think that's what it is. Or you're just trying to give a peek at who you deal with.
I think that women on some level of a consciousness understand that by doing, like showing their boyfriend, that they destroy the fantasy of availability. So it's like, she's with a guy now. Okay, I'm gonna put her on ignore, unlike, unfollow, because now she's got. You might as well get married. You might as well get married.
You know what's funny?
Social media,
you know what's funny?
That way.
That's bad game. When I see a girl that I had crush on and she had a boyfriend, I'm gonna reverse engineer her boyfriend. I'm going to do that with every time. That's what I did all through my 20s and 30s. I looked at dudes who were dating the girls that I liked, and I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing different? And at no point was there any emotional.
You didn't accept the defeat. You were like, I can still
There was no emotional response. It was just basically he's doing. Again, when it comes to business, if I told you this person has an incredible sales funnel and mine is not doing as well, is it for me to try to improve my sales funnel to look like theirs? Is that me like being depressed, or am I not being genuine to myself? No, it's business. I want to improve. For some reason in sales and business, we understand this concept, but for men don't grasp this concept when it comes to dating. If you see a dude is dating the girl you like, you need to be reverse engineering that dude. What is he wearing? What if it
strictly came down to how he looked and how you looked?
But is that always what it is?
No,
because it can. But if you do this over and over again, you're gonna see that you're gonna start to see a pattern. Yeah. He's more confident than you. He has better alignments than you. He has a different type of job than you do. He has. What you're usually going to find is he has better social media than you. That's what you're going to find very frequently. And
men are terrible at that.
And he's in better shape than you. That's another thing. Yeah.
I don't want to destroy Corey's thing. Yeah. Corey, what's his photographer?
Corey Chaliff.
So one of the things he says is like it works better. It's better for you to have fewer pictures. I just want to see if the girls agree with this. Have fewer pictures in your posts. I don't know what his policy is on like stories and reels.
I've seen some of the top Instagram like people or top OnlyFans.
They don't have more than 12
or something like that.
Yeah, if that.
They post frequently on their stories, but they only have like.
Would you rather? As women, would you rather see a guy on Instagram who is like alone by himself in a very nice exotic place, or would you rather see him with like a bunch of friends that he has? Maybe he's just like he's at a party, or he's at a gig, or he's at like some kind of concert.
I feel like a good mix is good.
You think so?
I feel like a good mix is good because
because Corey always says like you should just be alone and just like staring off into the sunset.
Well, he can be social, but he also is confident enough to be alone and want to like be adventurous to do shit by himself.
Yeah.
I think that's sexy.
I think it's crazy that you guys are basing these things off people's Instagrams.
Yeah, but you've also been married for 10 years. Like that's the difference. Like, what I'm trying to say is,
I've been divorced for 2 years now.
Okay.
And it's like even when you guys were saying like if you post with your boo, like people will stop following. I have like the opposite reaction. Like people will jump in my DMs and be like,
ooh,
well, when you're done with him, stop, or when you're done playing, or like things like that.
You're going to lose some and gain some.
Let me know when he fucks up.
Yeah.
Right, a lot of that
type thing. So
shout out to all the guys at Fit Club who talk to my girlfriend every day. Shout out to all you guys that have comments and shit to say.
I'm just curious about that because it's like,
and they don't think it gets back to you, which is
it's so crazy, bro. It's it's funny.
If a guy is smiling in his picture, is that sexy or is that not sexy? If a guy has a more of like a sort of a pensive look,
you gotta have a nice smile anyway.
Not smiling or
no,
smiling?
I think it's sexy if he smiles.
I like a guy who
especially
smiles.
if it's a good one.
It makes you look happy.
That's funny because that goes against pretty much every stat I've ever seen.
What do you mean about smiling?
About smiling, yeah.
What?
I mean, there's some level of stoicism. So the thing is, Corey's not wrong. It's just Corey has one way of doing thing. Corey wants to run the ball, and
I think he's right. And I think he's absolutely right.
And I want to throw screen passes. Yeah. No, the thing is, though, what I do works also. Like when I was single, there was what I did was I made it known if I messaged you that every one of your female friends was also following me. And so when I invited you to my event, you were more likely to show up. And therefore, my birthday party was always 50 girls, or my bikini competition was 170 girls. And so dating was easier for me to pick because I did that, because I used the pre-selection method. He's just using a different method.
I think it just depends on like if the woman is attracted to you in the first place, if she's aroused by it. Like if the guy looks like Henry Cavill, or he looks like Jack Reacher, and he's smiling, it doesn't. He can have any fucking expression on his face. It wouldn't make any difference.
However, if you look back 5 years, I was not attracted to that Alan Richardson at all because he was skinny. He was more goofy. This one, all day is fine. But if you look at him in a movie 5 years ago when he was 40 pounds less and freaking goofy and his voice was a little bit higher, not so much.
You liked him because he trends all day? He
gives up. Puts it down. Fuck yeah, man.
And never gives up.
I like that.
Is that what you like him?
I like the fact that he could probably flip me around.
I wonder about that because like every stat I've ever read about like smiling or not smiling has been like don't smile. Like for women smile, but for guys don't smile.
And I hate my smile. And every time I rarely post a smile. Every time I post a smile, I get more comments.
I think
he's showing stoic. So you're talking about stoicism for men,
facially, anyways. But what I meant is that I think the reason for that is the guy has to be attractive in the first place. Because if he's not attractive and he's smiling, it's creepy.
It is creepy.
See,